What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your preview and review of Bronson Reed Massive. Bronson is a chaotic powerhouse of the modern era. Currently no links or gear. His training ability at 6-star, purple moves that deal damage will deal 75% more damage, and blue moves start with 2 more MP. So that'll be an interesting combination. Thinking Chelsea Green and some others might benefit from that. I have 3 movesets I'm going to show you. First, my possibly boss battle favorite, certainly I think this one's really fun, is Triple Purple. On the bottom, Death Valley Driver. Deal 132,883 damage and make 32 random gems into trap gems. That's where the boss battle first part comes in. If broken by your opponent, deal 84,866 damage and increase the damage of all your gems by 30% for 2 turns. Then, if broken by you, deal 134k damage. In the middle, the Samoan Drop. Deal 130,094 damage, plus 71,466 bonus damage for every trap gem. And on the top, the Brainbuster, deal 133,754 damage and make 31 trap gems into purple. So self-refilling, great for boss battle with the traps and the purples, all low charge moves, so easy to get out there right away. Yeah, looking pretty good for that. On the Entourage side, a couple options here, but for the most part, you're going to run Woods here for purple MP. If there's a perk that allows you to start this moveset in particular, you might be able to throw on some additional trap gem or purple gem damage. Then Dakota Kai for additional trap gems and damage. Notice mine is not maxed out, so she's doing 35%. And then Steamboat for trap gems do 50% more damage and more trap gems. And we've got Mr. Rey Mysterio, the Motu version, for purple gems do 12k more damage. On the strap, this is a test strap. It's not mine. It's 30% gem damage plus double Fury 2. And then I do have a 26% all gem damage on there. So towards the higher end of what you might be able to do with him, but certainly not the top end. You can do more. For this moveset, I don't have any plates that I'm going to recommend. The Chelsea plate's fun, but it doesn't buff this because it's not his finisher. So for right now, we'll go without any plates or medals. So let's go see how he does against opponent on the road. All right, we're out on the road against Bradshaw, 6-star showboat with as much health as possible. You can see he's starting with 16 million. 2 ways you can run this. You're going to throw the traps first no matter what, but since these broken by your opponent buff your gem damage, you could miss a turn, let them hit some and buff your damage up. But since everything's already loaded, this move right here is going to hit for quite a bit of damage right off. So that's 4.6 million. Plus, you're turning all your trap gems, or a lot of them, into purple. And they're all hitting for damage additionally as well. So that right there was another 6 million. So that was 10 million turn 1 with very easy trainers and little fuss. Great for boss battle, great setup, and I don't know why popcorn was shooting out of his hands right there. All right, moveset number 2. This one is a Blast and Pyro Gem build. So on the bottom, the Avalanche Pile Driver deals 759,333 damage and makes a bottom row into Pyro Gems, which will modify all gems above it into Blast Gems when broken by you. The Side Rolling Senton deal 123,726 damage and increase your red move damage by 50%. That's going to come into our last build here especially. And then the Scoop Power Slam deals 759,333, same damage. damage as the bottom, and choose 8 gems to destroy. So you're going to make the whole board Pyro Blast combination with move damage. Now, I am buffing the blast gems with my entourage here. You could buff your move damage pretty high if you had JD Finn and Chelsea Green in the mix, but I am using Butch to get started here with 4 more red MP. I'm going to put Mr. Acolyte Bradshaw, the APA version, in there for red gems do 25% and blast gems do 100%. Eric Bischoff blast gems do 1200, and Santa Hogan, any color moves start with 1 more MP is the main thing, so that he would be loaded in most modes. On the strap, we are going to go ahead and put the Titan plate and the Pyro plate. Both have been somewhat accessible, so that is a good way to go. And I'm still running with Fury 2 plus 30% on the strap. So this one is an interesting combination of both gem and move damage. So you could buff either and get really high damage, great results. Let me show you. All right, we are still back out on the road against Mr. Bradshaw here. You can buff this first. It's a 1 MP charge. If you have green props, you could actually buff that up 5 times, which will come into play interestingly on the next build here. Then you're going to throw down this bottom row being these wonderful, wonderful Pyro gems, which props the Pyro Princess, the Piper's Power plate. And then you're going to go right here, choose 8 gems to destroy. You only really need the bottom row. And then that is going to make the entire board into blast gems. So now all you got to do is find a swipe. But if you notice, your red gems are doing 121,750. Your other gems are doing 100K, 75K, 60K respectively. So it doesn't matter where you blow up the board because it's going to blow up the whole thing anyway. And kaboom, 4.8 million on top of what you've already done. Flawless reload. That was again about a 9 or 10 million hit. So let's see one last move set that's very move damage based. All right, we have one last build here. This is the powerhouse damage build, the massive damage build. On the bottom, we're going to put the Scoop Power Slam to deal damage and choose 8 gems to destroy. In the middle or on the bottom, you could put the Side Rolling Senton, which deals 123,726 damage, but more importantly, increases your red move damage by 50% for 1 turn. And on the top, we have the Tsunami, deals 1.34 million damage, then swaps a 5x5 random area into green gems. So green gem damage and red move power. And then Hardcore, if your opponent's style is focused, notice that, then the finisher will also deal an additional 134k damage, but more importantly, force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. So here's how we're going to set this one up. You want the Aftershock or Santa's Muscles plate where you break green, get red, or vice versa. That is going to allow you to recharge that buff move. You also are going to want as much red move damage as possible. So we're doing double takedown 2 with a red move, 200% damage. And if you nasty and really want to get out there, bring some green props. We'll see that in just a moment. So let's see how he does. All right, so here's how we're going to run this. Pretty straightforward and simple. We want this to go off as many times as possible. Plus, we want to load our moves. And you know what? I realized I did not show you the trainers on this. My apologies. So you're going to want Butch to start with more red MP. Damian Priest buffs the finisher by 150%. Bret Hart buffs the finisher by another 50%. And Santa Hogan to start loaded. Obviously, if you put Snoop or anybody else right there to buff the damage, that would be preferable. But you want this move damage going off as much as possible. So even with nothing else going, we are already at 7.9 million damage and swap an area. You're going to use this one time. Bam. And now you are up to 11 million. And we're not even started. We're not even done. We need at least three of each color just to trigger the plate. We're going to do our best to not cascade. That would cascade. And if you want to play it more safe, you can. But now you've had that go off again, which means you can buff again. So now we are up to 15 million. But guess what? If you want to, you've still got a bit of pin bar right here. You can't do 3 and 3. You could do 3 green, but really just to be safe, I'm going to buff 1 green gem. Just 1. And that's it. Bam. One more time. Bam. That's a normal match. That should be pretty attainable for most. 19 million damage. But, I just want to see what's going to happen here. So, let's watch the chaos unfold if we do this. There's one more. Puts us at 23 million damage. And one more. Oh, and by the way, his health is already pretty melted. You've already done 10 plus million. That would be 27 million damage. One more. Oh, we're going to max this out just for the fun of it. That puts us at 31 million, and we got 2 more to go. 2 more to go. There's another. All right, that puts us at 35 million damage. And if you really wanted to, you could do it one more time like this. This is, I think, as much as you could possibly get. Obviously, you could run some red up props, load this move again, damage 1 more green. So you could get 1, maybe 2 more in. But we are at 39 million damage on top of what we've already done for 10. So that's 50 million damage turn 1 with a little prop. Plus, we're going to turn most of the board into green gems. So let's just melt this guy right now. Tsunami. I love that finisher move. That is awesome. Yeah, and he did another, what was that, 3 million gem damage right there? So 53 million plus damage turn 1. That is massive. All right, let's get to Rusty and I chatting about this incredible character.
Wow, exciting gameplay. This superstar looks pretty OP, as they say in the gaming world, right?
Well, the Powerhouse class in 2023, I know Showboat got a lot, but Powerhouse between Braun, Fatu, Cody, Bronson, just so many that are, oh my goodness, like your Powerhouse tokens are going to take a hit with this one, but you better say it's worth it. So
Yeah, I think so. Watching the numbers you were hitting were super impressive, and it feels like there's actually still potential for increased new trainers as they come out, because Bronson seems like a really flexible way to run him. I loved watching you kind of do your thing. I was doing something totally different on my preview with triple purple and dreaming big about boss battle possibilities. Purple shield, he would just crush it. Trap gems, bonus, he would crush it. And yet, I don't even think we've seen the best possible offering for gem generate possibilities, like with trap gem. Like if you could, future trainers, if they could have, if you're making like 6 or more extra trap gems, whoa, or even increasing that trap gem bonus. Well,
you know what I didn't do on triple purple though that I think would be really interesting is I didn't let the opponent have a turn. Like if you face somebody who breaks the whole board and you throw down all your trap gems, every
Right.
single one of them buffs you by 30%. That could
Yeah.
seriously jump things up. But I mean, he was hitting 10 million with triple purple turn
Right.
one.
Yeah.
So
And
you're fine.
well, that's
Flawless
when you
reload.
wonder what would happen on an basically a 1 minute loop against a boss. Like you would
Right.
just be devastating. And would that bonus damage stack on and on and on, or would it just be
Well, the bonus damage is if the opponent breaks the gems and the
you
boss
wouldn't
isn't going to.
you wouldn't
But
get
when you break the gems, it does additional damage. Plus, you have the additional damage per trap gem move. So, like for example, my boss battle hero for the last year has been Johnny Knoxville. Whenever there's a trap gem boss where it does bonus damage per trap gem,
right.
he just wipes that boss out. So Bronson is going to be, I would say, more accessible than Knoxville for most. And he's going to sit in that spot. Plus, he's chaotic powerhouse instead of aggressive powerhouse. Like
Oh yeah.
Farouk would be in that aggressive. Stay Puff, Sika, your Braun. I mean, there's so many that are in that aggressive powerhouse. He's in chaotic, which
Right.
means that Zombie Cody is his biggest competition. And I hate to say it, but I think he's a lot better than Zombie Cody.
No, for
So
sure. And also, I mean, Relentless KO would be in that spot as well. But
yeah,
but they're doing totally different things, and
right,
KO's not making the amount of trap gems that Bronson is. And so
right,
advantage Bronson.
right.
Lee, tell me about this. Like we saw some pretty incredible trainers. We saw some, straps and plate stuff. But what would you say about like, are there mid-tier roster people like me? Some guy like me pulled Bronson Reed? How would I maximize somebody like that with maybe a 4 million roster?
Well, you've got something that I don't. So my preview did not feature JD Finn, and you have him. So
True.
150% red move damage on that finisher.
Right.
So I now granted I used 5 green props just to see it, but turn one, I hit over 50 million
Yeah.
damage
Yeah.
with this. If I had had JD Finn in the mix, if I had had Chelsea Green, which you have both of those, you
I do.
jerk. Uh,
I do. I'm slowly becoming like a legitimate like content creator versus like a poser that like how did this guy show up at the dance? Like I've been building
oh,
my roster
nice.
strategically and with luck to actually
Gotcha.
some pretty decent pieces on it. The last year's
Right.
been really good to me for sure.
That's right. It has been. And so, but I'm still the poser. I don't have JD Finn and I don't have Chelsea Green, which means I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if we did it on the special account, the test account, maybe I could have hit 60 million. Who knows? But either way,
Oh yeah.
50 million north of, you're talking he's already defeating 6 golds and they're not even out yet. So it's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, I think his space in the meta is he's going to establish it and be around for a long time. Uh,
Yeah.
with Go ahead.
No, and it continues the trend of like with Fatu, with Samu, with several others, where it's move damage
Yeah.
is huge, but also gem damage is huge.
Right.
So it's really like a choose your own adventure because making that 5x5 into green, I didn't do it that way because the move damage is just so much bigger, but you could theoretically buff green gems. You could theoretically, you got
True.
purple gems. Like again, you talk about boss battle, you talk about stipulation
Mhm.
tours, you talk about all that stuff. This guy is top of the heap for most of that. So
I think
massive.
you have a quality superstar when you're not sure whether or not to put move damage or gem damage strap on him.
Right.
It's when you're like unsure about that,
Yeah.
you're saying, I have double value here. I have
Right.
duplicitous value, which is infinitely rare, I think, in this game.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you this. Something that makes our content unique is that we actually talk about the world of WWE TV as well. Do you think Bronson Reed could contend for the Intercontinental title? Could he win a Royal Rumble? What do you think the
Yeah.
trajectory of his as a superstar, where could that be headed?
I mean, I really like him. He's a versatile character in WWE TV. As we're recording this, he is setting himself up for a fight with Gunther, but it seems like it's kind of a get me by feud until somebody else comes into the picture. So I think he's still a year or two away from really breaking out, but if he can continue to prove himself, I could see him being the next big guy, right? You know, they call him Big Bronson Reed. The game calls him Massive. Either way, when he comes out, you pay attention because especially
Right.
he can move, right? There's been a few big guys across history that could really move like that, but I mean, top rope moves. He's kind of got like a more acrobatic Yokozuna is the way they're kind of
Oh
pitching
wow.
him.
I could see
So
Bronson Reed winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Like I could
yeah,
see him being positioned
totally.
for that in a WrestleMania pre-show or somebody in 2024 that we start to legitimize a push
Yeah.
behind. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yep.
take us out. Or any last thoughts on Bronson Reed?
No, I mean, if you are lucky enough to get this character, he is phenomenal. You're gonna have powerhouse token problems if you've got some of the other ones this year, but otherwise, uh, aside from maybe Fatu and Braun, I would say he is your top. Like those three, is up in there too. So maybe those four. I mean, again, it's just hard. Powerhouse was so stacked this year, and this is the final drop that's icing on the cake. So thanks for tuning in, watching this preview. Share it with your faction and anybody else because it really helps us. Plus, hopefully, it's helpful to them. And be good to each other. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2024. Bye.